Protection, peace and love to all my brothers and sisters. This is Teacher Kaitesi. I hope all is well with you. Okay, so this is a follow-up message from the last one I gave about the war that is coming to Africa and why it has to happen and how it will happen. So I got a few comments and concerns and questions. What is it about these dreams that made you feel that this war is actually going to come? Because different people believe that dreams are subject to interpretation. You may see something this way and it goes a different way. And you know what? Let me tell you the truth. From what I have seen, I pray to myself every day. I try and convince myself that hopefully I'm crazy. Hopefully I'm crazy. You know? Because it would be much easier to know that I'm the one who is crazy, that none of this is going to happen, than what I actually see happening. Now, you may also be watching and thinking, she's crazy, that can't happen in this modern day life. Life can't be like that anymore. We've gone past this. And you can think maybe she's crazy, it's her imagination, or those are just her dreams and it's in her mind. But that is one option. Option A, I may be crazy. But option B, what if I'm not? What if I'm not? Just try and live both ways. If nothing happens, good for us, good for you, okay? Everything continues to go on as it is. But what if something happens? What if it happens? What if what I've seen happens? And you're not prepared for it and you decided to just downplay me as somebody who's just being over the top, overthinking, too big an imagination. Those are her own dreams, Instead of thinking that, what if it happens? What if you find yourself in the middle of it? Then what? It will be too late for you to do anything. For me, the reason why I'm telling you this is not because there's much you can do, but what you can do is self-cleanse. Is your own personal spiritual cleanse. Because you see this thing, the more you release things from yourself, the more likely that you will be protected by that lives within you. The spirit that is with you, the one that has been with you from the beginning, that one, your advisor, your number one, your source, the one from source, the one that source gave you. For that one to give you advice and to be able to keep you safe, you have to absolutely listen to that one within you. And for that to happen means that you have released so many of these other things that are in your life. Okay? So what I'm asking you to do is not something that is ultimately in any way affecting you in a negative way. It is good for you. It is good for you to release any evil that may be within you, that you may be practicing. It is good for you, ultimately. Okay? Because the more you release all that, the more your protection can actually protect you. The more it will work for you. Okay? So, I wanted to share some of those dreams. There are dreams which I had which were mostly about my family and its effects and how it will be. But then these ones were generally of general, like all people. So this is what I'm going to share, just 4 of them. I will share them first, then I'll give you explanations and understanding according to what Spirit has taught me, okay? So the first one I saw was, I'm moving around town, and then I'm looking at people, and people are arguing, and they are quarreling, and they're beginning to push each other, and they are, and everybody seems angry. And I'm looking at people and thinking, why are they so angry? And then suddenly, the next thing I know, I'm from down. And then I look at myself, and I'm a small lion cub. Okay? I'm a cub, a tiny little cub. And you know how in dreams you can see yourself. So I look at myself and I'm thinking, how did I turn into an animal? And then I look, and now the people have all turned into wild animals. And they are killing each other. They are tearing each other apart. There is a lot of growling. There is so much dust. There is blood everywhere. There are parts flying off these animals. And I start running through all these animals. I'm trying to run to where I can be safe. No one seems to be chasing me. But these animals are fighting everywhere. I'm just running through them. Okay? That is the first one that I can talk about. The second one that I got. This one, I'm up like on a hill. And I'm watching down in the valley this town. And as I'm looking at this town, I look next to me and there's this little girl and she's holding my hand. This girl, I used to teach her couple of years back in my, actually the very first school, second school that I taught this girl, and she was in my class. And so she's looking up at me, I'm holding her hand, and she asks me, do you think my mom will be fine? Okay, her dad is a soldier, I know this. So she doesn't seem to be concerned about her father. She knows her father will take care of himself, but she's concerned about her mother. And she asks me, do you think mommy will be fine? And we are watching the town burning, literally burning. It's up in smoke, there's fire, there's noise. You can hear gunshots and explosions and things. Now, as we are watching and I'm wondering what I can tell this little girl, I see these planes come, these helicopters, they come, and they are just ahead of us. They can't see us, but they're just ahead of us. And then soldiers start dropping on ropes down onto the ground. And they are going down into this valley, into this city. And so I remember looking at their uniforms and wondering, who are they? And then I see a UN symbol on their arm. So I'm thinking, okay, that's the UN. Maybe they have come to help. So as I'm looking down to the girl, I'm trying to tell her that, you know, your mom may be safe because these seem to be people who have come to help. I'm thinking it in this dream. Then Spirit whispers to me and says, they are not here to help. They are not here to help. Then I wake up. Okay? Second dream. Third dream, I'm in an institution, like a school, a university, college, because it was big children. It was not small children like the ones I teach. So the war is ongoing outside and there's a lot of chaos. We're moving up and down and people are wondering what to do and such. And so we see these same soldiers coming in on the planes all around this institution. And they are falling down from the planes, how they come down on ropes. Many are coming out with guns and things. And so people, these young people that I'm with, these university young people, they start to celebrate, yeah, we are safe, the UN has come, it's them, we are safe. So them, the ones I'm with, they start heading to the gate. Then I remember thinking, they are not here to help us. They are not here to help us. I've seen them before and I remember being told they are not here to help. So as I'm trying to tell these people, they don't seem to listen to me. They are continuing to rush off. So I rush off in another direction. And then I look over a cliff. And then I see the ones who have arrived into the area. And I see them killing everyone that they are meeting. Everyone. They are not even talking to the people. They are not asking anything. They're just killing. Knives, guns. They're just killing as they come forward. So I run to another side. When I run to the other side, I look up and then I see other soldiers. But this time, these ones are black. They're African. And they're also coming off planes and cars and trucks and things. And as they're coming off, I'm thinking, now the other people in that section are also running and saying, oh, at least these are our soldiers. These ones are going to help. So as they start running towards them, I start seeing the same soldiers killing the people. They are killing the people. Then I stop. So in my mind I'm thinking, so the white are killing, the black are killing. So anyone who has a gun is killing. So I see this manhole, like when you see a trench of water and there's a section where usually the water falls and so it has made a deep hole. So I enter into that trench and as I sit inside, I wake up. That's a third dream. Now the fourth dream seems to be after the war. And I move around and I just see multitudes of children. So many children, young children. And they're moving around. And I move around for what seemed like a long time. And I don't seem to see any adults. And I start wondering, you mean all the adults died? How is it possible that all the adults died? Where are all the adults? So I keep moving. And then finally I see one adult. And when I see that one adult, I wake up. Okay? That's how I remember those last 4 dreams. So now this is the interpretation I got. The first one, when we turn into animals, you see all these social medias that we have, all these platforms that we are on, are not built by us. So they are not for us. Okay? They are not built for us. It is the same, I told you, with the education, with the management systems, with the banking, everything. None of this was built by us. So it is not for us. Okay? So through these social medias and all these different platforms, there are certain triggers, there are certain words, there are certain codes that we have over time been introduced to. And those codes are such that when that time has reached, all the social medias are going to release all these different things, as usual, clips, comedies, movies and things, how they do their thing. But all these are going to have those trigger codes, those trigger words, which are going to trigger something in us that is going to turn us into being wild towards one another. Okay? When this war starts, when the first bomb goes off, because for me, how Spirit explains it to me, it will be like literally we will feel like the earth is being torn, like a fabric, like you tearing clothes, something hard, cloth, and you're tearing it, that sound, that feeling. That's what we will feel. When that happens, all those trigger words that we would have had, all those codes that have been put in, all this information that they have been passing on through these social media platforms, it's going to trigger something in us, the animal in us, and that's how we're going to tear each other apart. The army will not help you, because for them, you see what used to happen long ago when, for me, I remember growing up in Uganda, the people I remember being in the army, they were stand-up people. They were such fantastic people. That's what I remember. I remember them being very protective. I remember that every time they talked, it was about people, and many of them, I remember them being sad about people having to die. I remember that the ones who have been in war, when they would talk, you would see them sad about having to kill someone, because it wasn't really always their aim. It wasn't to kill. Okay? But these were people who were being trained by fellow Africans. So their propaganda was usually about the people. They wanted more to find a way for the people to live right, to live together. That's what more of the army teaching was about. The army teaching today, that's what I remember the army being really about. Okay? And if you look like at the first RPF and the people that came to this country, if you look at the first RPF, that's why when they came here, our president Paul Kagame and the army, their whole agenda was to try and see how to make the African, the Rwandan live together, regardless of whether they are Hutu, Twa, or Tutsi. Because that's how they had trained. While they were in Uganda and they were getting together as people, they wanted to come back home. They wanted to be part of what was at home. Their agenda wasn't to eliminate, no. It was not to eliminate the other one, no. It was to find a way to live together. And yet, the Habyarimana army, which had been here, which was being trained by foreigners, for them, their teachings were on eliminating the Tutsi. Because that is what ultimately the colonialist wants, to eliminate the African. Okay? So, these army people that we have today, these elite armies that have been trained by commandos and foreign trainers coming from abroad, their teaching is not for us. It is still for the white man. It is for the white man. So they have those trigger words and codes that have been done within their training that will just be easily switched on, and they will turn against us as well. Because this war is about the white man eliminating the African. He's no longer interested in working with us because he has realized we are trouble. He came here, he brought his education. He thought it would subdue us and he would be able to do whatever he wants. We've learnt the laws from him. We've learnt all these things from him. Now, we are making demands about our ancestral artifacts that were taken 100 years ago. You've seen those artifacts that were taken from Berlin, that we are saying we want back from all these museums in Britain and France and all these other places. So now the Mzungu sees and realizes that it's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. So he doesn't want any educated Africans. So his process is to eliminate, and that is why when I see them, they learned and they come down into the areas where people are, and they are just killing everyone. They are not talking, they are not here to save so and so, and no, they are here to eliminate everyone. Because we have been watching on the news. We've seen the mercenaries who have come out of Congo. Do you think those people are just going to go home and sit? They are going home, but there's going to come a time after they have triggered in us and we are killing one another, the African versus the African. Because one African country will start it with another African country, so it will seem like it's us. That's what they want. Then as soon as that happens, the white will start to come in, the mercenaries, the ones that have been to Africa, the ones that know the land and where and how to get into the cities. They will come in and they will just eliminate from one side to the other side as quickly as they can. Because you see, all these weapons that they have been giving our presidents and our leaders all around Africa and behaving as if they are doing us a favor, it wasn't a favor. All those instruments of war that they have given us, those same commandos that have trained them are still going to trigger those soldiers. So they are going to use those weapons on each other, on the fellow Africans, on the Wananchi, okay? And this war will go on until the weapons have been all used. You picture that all the weapons that we have on the African soil that came from somewhere else to come here, they are going to be used. I want you to get that. They are going to be used. All of them. This war is not about, let's stop. You know, this is the thing with us. We keep trying to make choices. It's like you have a rapist here and you have a sadist here and a murderer, and then you're trying to choose who of the three you would rather stay with. Africa is generally in a bad marriage. We are generally in a bad marriage. Okay? Some days the husband beats you, some days he rapes you, some days he... And then you're trying to say that, oh, I prefer the days at least when he beats me. So you're trying to pick amongst them that, no, this country is not so bad, that these ones like us, they don't like us. Let me tell you something. If I wish everybody could connect with the spirit within them and ask, they are not like us. Amongst those foreign countries, these Bazungus, the people who have hearts, who are actually like us, are very far, that we hardly know anything about them. They are not on social media. They are not on social media. I want you to look at Africa itself, and you will find that the best people that you will know, that you will find that you know, the ones who are actually intelligent, the ones who are actually kind, the ones that are actually of good, most of them in Africa are very poor, that their biggest concern is just how to feed their kids. Okay? Now, I want you to take that same context and look at it in terms of the white man. If just here in Africa, where this disease just reached here just 100 years ago, we have become this bad to our people that are of good. How about those Bazungos? They are good Chinese, yes. They are good Indians, yes, they are there. But those are the ones that are living so far that you never ever get to see them on social media. For them, they are living so far that it is hard for them to make any impact in their societies. The ones who are in the forefront being seen and being used are the ones who are like what they want, the ones who are on the vibration of eliminating. And this war is for eliminating the African. It is not for saving. They don't want to save anyone. The ones who will remain will be so few, so little, so insignificant that they will come here. Remember, they have their robots. They no longer need you to come and dig and mine. No? Because when you're mining, you're causing noise. You have people coming in to fight for the young kids who are mining. You're coming in to fight for the slaves. You're coming in to fight for the women who are being raped. So they no longer want that trouble. Because now they've realized that you have gone to a capacity where you will fight for whoever is being enslaved. So they don't want you. That is all. So they are going to eliminate the elite African. Every African that is educated, all the Africans in all these cities, they are going to move around just cleaning up the city, getting rid of every black person that they see, because they know that you have become trouble and they can no longer manage you. They will do it in the shortest time they can, because they know that by the time the last bullets are being sounded, they shouldn't be on the African soil. They shouldn't have been there. It shouldn't look like they were there. They will come back later. Okay? So they need the African energy, because this continent runs on the Africans' energy. We are the energy that powers this continent. So they need us. So they won't finish us. But they just want to leave those few who are not going to fight against them, where they will come, mine, do their things, and then not be affected, not be disturbed. Otherwise, they don't want you now. You're already asking for the artifacts. Now tomorrow you're going to bring up the mercenaries and want to know who were they working for, where were they coming from, what were they doing in Congo. They know all this, you're going to bring it forward. So they don't want it. So truthfully, you said leaving. That is what they are doing. They are going to take all their main enterprises away so that they can remove their people, as many of their people as they can. Remember, that's what they did in the genocide in Rwanda. Yeah, the UN came in and took their people and said this war doesn't concern us. It's a brother versus brother. It has nothing to do with us. So they took their people to safety and left us to kill each other. Okay? So that's what they're going to do. They're going to start closing up many of their big enterprises here and move back home and then come back later. So my brother, my sister, I'm telling you, just clean yourself. Just clean yourself. You think of the fact that I can be crazy, that's okay. That's okay. But in the meantime, you clean yourself so that when it happens, you're able to listen to the spirit within you so that it can take you to safety. Because only the spirit within you will take you to safety. Because for us in Rwanda, we learned that the church won't save you because there were more people killed in churches than those who were killed in the nearby homes in Rwanda. Okay? We know this. So the church is not going to save you. The UN is not going to save you. They are not. Because right here, we had a simple demonstration where the UN never helped, the African Union did not help, even our fellow Africans turned away. You know? So, we already have a demonstration of how it can go. So it is just between you and the spirit that dwells within you. And you know, this is the thing. I realized this is why I saw so many children after. These children that have been born, for me, I'm a teacher and I realize these children are way ahead of our time. They are nothing like us. Their loyalty is to self. Their loyalty is to self. They listen to the thing within them. That's why you can talk to them, and when you finish, they go back to doing their thing how they have been doing it. Because for them, they came in equipped to survive this war. Okay? Yeah, it is the adults that need to prepare, because the children are already prepared. On a psychological level, they know it's coming. And they know that the spirit will lead them to safety somehow. So, my dear, dear brothers and sisters, clean yourself. It is necessary so that you get back to who you are. You stop chanting prayers and things from other people. Go inside you and look for what you are about. That's the one that is going to protect you, because that one has been with you from the beginning and will be with you until you come out of this body and go into a different realm. So that's the message I had for you today. All the best.